Hello, past bargaining unit employees. I know many of you are curious about the status of negotiation for contracts in both AVS and ATO. Not only will I provide you with a status update today, but I will also set forth our expectations. As I have explained in the past, bargaining for both contracts has not progressed as quickly as we would like. Nevertheless, the process for both continues to move forward. In AVS, we're down to a handful of issues, but as you can imagine, sometimes those are the most difficult issues to overcome. The bargaining team is at the table this week. After this session, we will be heading to mediation, which is the first step in the impasse process. If you'd like to learn more about how that works, I urge you to read General Counsel Denny Rose's column on it in the current issue of the Past Times. It goes into detail about the process for unions at the FAA. If you're not currently a member, ask a coworker who is to share a copy of that column. As for the substance of the negotiations, the most significant obstacles to a final agreement in AVS are currently telework and pay matters. The blame for this rests with the agency. In the middle of bargaining, FAA changed its position on telework, which effectively modified their counterproposal to us. After the premature return to office initiative that PASS pushed back on, FAA simply moved the goalposts on telework. We are trying to find common ground, but quite frankly, the agency wants to take more control of the telework process and have an article on telework that is weaker than our current contract article. We have a problem with that. In addition to telework, there are also a limited number of pay issues that remain open. While we are hopeful, it is unclear whether we will bridge those differences, partly because the agency made proposals at the AVS table that are actually ATO issues. Now, this may be an attempt by the FAA to leverage one past bargaining unit against another, but we're not going to let that happen. If necessary, we will head to the arbitration portion of the impasse process if mediation is unsuccessful. In ATO, the parties met last week. After months of slow progress, we are now slightly more optimistic about the road forward. At each session, the parties are typically able to tentatively agree upon a few articles. While the process is now moving forward, we are still displeased that the agency is not engaged with PASS on important economic matters. For example, we made a pay proposal for ATO 9 months ago and it received no response. Please know that I am continuing to engage with FAA leadership at the highest levels. We are pushing to conclude these agreements as quickly as we can. Please also know that your support is critical, and we will be asking you to show your support for our efforts soon. I know it can be disappointing and frustrating to watch progress move slowly. We should not have to go to mediation and absolutely not to arbitration to get a fair deal done in AVS. However, that appears to be our current reality. I will continue to question whether FAA leadership is living up to this administration's standard of being the most union-friendly in history until we have new contracts. Hopefully, that'll happen soon. We are dedicating ourselves to completing these agreements. To those of you who are members of PASS, I want to thank you for your continued support of our union. If you're not a member, joining now is a terrific way to show your solidarity with your coworkers that are members. It's easy to join. Scan the QR code on the screen and become a member today. Thank you for spending a few moments with me today. Be safe in all you do and take care of yourselves, your families, and each other.